Let's get it.
What is good, everybody? It's your boy Troy King, aka T King Mode, and we're back. TL Fantasy Football, and on my right is the one, the only Laquon Jones, aka Real Deal Fantasy. What's up, my guy? How you feeling tonight?
What's good, bro? Another show, another week. We got a lot to cover. Some good football, some good content, and off top, I gotta talk my shit, my guy. I got a dub this week. You want to explain how I beat you by this right here?
Bro, it was less than a point, my guy. So it was
Less
less
than
than
a
a
point.
point.
So what? A dub's a dub. Is a win. Is a win. Is a win.
Bro, listen, that was BS. But listen, we got best ball league together. LQ and I are a couple leagues together. He beat me by less than a point because Daniel Jones. It was BS. But I'm not gonna bore y'all with it. So
Jacoby Brissett. Don't let that slide under.
anyways, but listen, man, like I ain't worried about you. Look, we ain't gonna be talking about that.
A win is
But
a win.
again, what's up, everybody in the chat, man? Appreciate y'all rocking with us tonight. I'm really excited for y'all to be here. But we're about to get into it, man. Look, y'all can find us here every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But let's kick it off, man. We're gonna talk about Monday Night Football. We teased a little bit. Cowboys versus the Giants. It started off very ugly. What's up, everybody in the chat? What's good, everybody? But it started off ugly. But let's talk about what happened, right? So Cowboys get the dub. There's a lot of good, decent fantasy performances, right? At first, CeeDee Lamb with that drop, that disgusting drop. I was mortified. I know a bunch of people in the chat were mortified, but he made up for it, right? CeeDee Lamb, he had 8 for 87 and a touchdown. Zeke actually looked like he did his thing a little bit, scored a touchdown. We had Tony Pollard, but I'm gonna let you. Let's start with the Cowboys. LQ, tell me what you thought about the Cowboys, the fantasy performers. I want to get your perspective on how everyone did.
So listen, I was excited to see, the run game. The run game was looking good. 1-2 punch, Tony Pollard looking like a stud. I mean, a lot of people, they get all excited about Tony Pollard, but we come to find out not many people have him in their starting lineups. I mean, I know a handful of people that put him in the flex, but Zeke isn't washed. That's get that clear. Zeke is still being Zeke. He's still hitting the edge, still finding the holes, the vision's still there, the balance is there, et cetera, et cetera. Like Zeke is still a valuable fantasy player.
Look, Zeke is, and I've been saying all that, right? Because the problem is I know he doesn't have as much juice as Tony Pollard. Right? I'm a Zeke guy, but he does what you need him to do, and like he's a great pass blocker. He gets the dirty yards. He gets the first down. So he does what the coaching staff needs him to do. He's a way better pass blocker than Tony Pollard. I know pass blocker doesn't score fantasy points, but you need that to get on the field. And look, he did his thing, had I believe, 27-yard run or something like that. But yes, Tony Pollard, he got the juice. And look, I'm not a huge Tony Pollard guy. I like him. I think he's talented. I just don't ever see a realm where he's going to be the RB1 of that offense. They paid Zeke way too much money. So until they have an out in his contract, Zeke is going to do. Like
don't mention the money, man. The money.
No, but it's a combination of money and also he's not completely washed. I think it's a combination of both. So Tony Pollard's never going to get that opportunity to be the RB1 in that offense as long as Zeke's there. So but their carries. One thing about that I noticed the past couple of weeks is that their carries are getting very close to each other. So Zeke had 15 rushes, Tony Pollard had 13 rushes. The surprising thing yesterday about Tony Pollard is that we didn't see receptions from him. So that's what we've been seeing these past couple of weeks. He's been the target guy for whatever reason. They weren't targeting Tony Pollard, but he didn't need it because he was so efficient on the ground. And thankfully Zeke got the touchdown, but he ran well again. He had 15 for 73 yards. I really like what I saw from Zeke. But let's talk about another guy who's been the wide receiver 2 on the team. So look, Michael Gallup, we know that he didn't suit up. We know that Dalton Schultz, he was also injured. Noah Brown. So Noah Brown is somebody who's been deeper leagues. I've had to play him in deeper leagues. Noah Brown at 5 for 54. He's been producing I'm not saying he's been like a wide receiver 1 or 2, but he's been flex worthy. He has been flex worthy this year. I mean, what do you think about Noah Brown? Is there somebody, even when Michael Gallup comes back, are you starting him in a deeper league? What's your opinion about Noah Brown?
I mean, I like him for being productive with what he's given. I know he has the volume on the table for him because Cooper Rush is passing to the wide receivers he was very comfortable with playing with the twos or in preseason and practice, et cetera, et cetera. That tends to happen with the backup, quarterback. He throws to who he's most comfortable with. He has the stars there. But listen, Dalton Schultz wasn't playing either. So you have to look at it like Noah Brown, his value it's based on what's given to him on the table. And I like him as a reliable flex play if you're dealing with injuries, if you got, like basically like a guy in concussion protocol or something like that is questionable. You could throw Noah Brown in there because he's healthy, he's ready to go. And Michael Gallup is still on the way back. We don't know how he's going to look in that offense once he gets back. So he's going to be a little sluggish, maybe eased in, not a lot of snap opportunities, et cetera, et cetera.
I'm curious if Michael Gallup is cleared day one. Is he just going to go back to being Michael Gallup? Or like, maybe that's what they're waiting for, right? Maybe they're waiting for him to, we're going to unleash you to do your thing, and that's why we're holding him out. Or if it's going to be like, are they going to ease him in and Noah Brown's going to have a role? Most likely when Michael Gallup's back and Dalton Schultz is back, we're not going to talk about Noah Brown.
Yeah, and they talking about Dak being back next week is kind of like crazy.
I'll call BS, man.
That's cap. That's big cap. We can agree on that. That is big cap. I don't want him to come back next week. Let's put it like that. You got your boy Cooper Rush. He's 3-0 as a
exactly. Why Rush? You know what it is? Dak's probably saying that because he sees that Cooper Rush is balling. Yo, chill. I got to get back on this field.
Back. I don't know, Jay, that ass about this quarterback controversy.
I mean, but here, listen. I know people have been saying that quote. I know Cooper Rush is 3-0. It's Dak's job. I'm not worried about that. We've been talking about the Cowboys a lot. Let's move over to the Giants. And well, first I gotta say, Sterling Shepard. I hope that Sterling Shepard heals up because
this might be it.
He has had so many injuries in his career. He's been talented. I feel like every time he's on the field and he's healthy, he's been a PPR machine.
He has the volume. He has the ability to be the number one, but it's like you can't stay healthy, bro.
I mean, he was 5 for 49 before he left. Like last play of the game, he gets hurt. I'm just like, I feel so bad for Sterling Shepard. But let's talk about some of the other guys, who played for the Giants. So Daniel Jones, we'll start with him. He was 20 for 37, 196 yards, and 1 INT. He did rush the ball a few times. That's what kind of saved his day a little bit because
I'm telling you, that's why I beat you. To be honest, I mean,
that's why he beat you.
Score right here, like,
but we ain't got to talk about the score in the back, man. But listen, so that's the only thing you sort of like about Daniel Jones. He rushes the ball, but he's not good. He's not good. But let's talk about someone who actually is good on the team. Saquon Barkley. I am so happy that he's healthy again. Knock on wood. I hope I didn't jinx him for the rest of the season.
I'm about to say, listen, he is back.
Let's break down his numbers, bro. He had 14 rushes for 81 yards, touchdown, 4 receptions, 45 yards. That's vintage Saquon. He had that long run. And I see someone talking about Kenny Galladay. We are not talking. That dude trash.
Hell,
I know. Like compared to its normal people, Kenny Galladay. I don't know what's going on with Kenny Galladay. We have not seen the Lions Kenny Galladay at all. Oh yeah, make sure everybody likes this. Appreciate y'all rocking. Make sure everybody likes the video. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you subscribe. Appreciate y'all. But listen, Kenny Galladay is so trash, man. And this, I want them to cut their losses. I want them to move on. Like I don't even want to talk about it too much.
Dead money, man.
It's dead money, but at this point, it might be worth it. Like, what's the point of keeping? He's playing like 4 snaps. He's dropping balls.
Is it worth it to have that much dead cap?
So what are you gonna do? So you're just gonna keep him? I mean,
keep him. Eat it. You just gotta keep him. The sorry production. I mean, put them in when you put them in. It's like, bro, I'm not taking that cap hit and dead money when one.
I know. I get it. You shouldn't take the dead cap, but I'm just tired of looking at
next year. You need a quarterback because you want the cap and you have to pay Saquon. Sterling Shepard basically done as a Giant. I mean, like I don't see him coming back.
I mean, yes, Saquon.
You have so many other problems bigger than Kenny Galladay.
Very well said, Dynasty Barry. Some fallacy. But everybody, make sure y'all liking that video. Appreciate y'all. But let's talk about so the other two. Well, let's look at. We talk about Kenny Galladay. Their other starting wide receivers are, bro. They got Richie James and David Sills are the other, because Kadarius Toney and Wanda Robinson are banged up, and Kadarius Toney began in the doghouse and stuff. I don't know what's going on with him, but there's a prime. They're just screaming. There's such an open slot for being a wide receiver one, and we just need somebody to take it, right? Richie James and David Sills aren't going to be the wide receiver one for this team. I need Kadarius Toney and Wanda Robinson to get healthy so we can do fantasy points, because the only one you want on the team is Saquon. I think it's kind of obvious. It's just, and the Giants are just like they're 3-1. They've had a decent start, but it's just Kadarius Toney is the most talented guy in the team outside of Saquon. I just want him to get on the field, be healthy, and he deserves like 10 targets a game because he's just so talented.
He's a playmaker, but
he's a playmaker, but look, he just got to start getting in trouble. He needs to stay healthy. But you know what? We'll see what happens with the Giants. But yeah, Daniel Jones, you're only playing him if it's a super flex league. But I'm tired. I like this nickname for him. Good dog. I like that nickname for him. Bullet tape. Wait, what did I say? I said aren't really half bad. I said that.
No, he did.
I said that, but like they aren't half bad in terms of like they were undefeated. Like I'm giving them the credit. Like I'm giving them the credit. Like look, there's because Dable. I like what Dable doing. They have creative play calling. One of the things I do like about the Giants is that they have creative play calling for once in their life. You know what I'm saying? It's been a struggle bus like Jason Garrett and people like that. So at least there's somewhat, there's somewhat interesting to watch.
They got to be disciplined as well, because some of Daniel Jones' best throws of the night didn't count. Like that one catch to Kenny Galladay, it didn't count. That was like where he stepped up in the pocket and zipped it, and it was just like, hold it.
Look, he has his moments. He has his moments. The problem is just Daniel Jones. I know he's had a bunch of offensive coordinators. The O-line's trash, but like, I'm sorry, bro. He ain't the answer. Like, you can give him all the excuses you want. We've seen enough Daniel Jones.
Next year, watch.
We've seen enough Daniel Jones to know that. Look, Carolina, every bad quarterback. I don't think he deserves. I don't think he deserves a starting job. I don't see him. Do you think he's going to be a starter if he gets?
He's going to take the Trubisky route. He's going to be a backup behind.
Yeah, that's what he's going to do. He's going to take the Trubisky route. I don't see him. Or he's going to be a bridge guy. I feel like he's going to be a bridge guy for the rest of his life, quarterback life until
he can end up like a Josh Rosen, but we're not going to put that on him.
Look, I don't think he's going to be. Look, he's better than Josh Rosen. But anyways, I'm tired of talking about the Monday Night Football game. We're about to get, for y'all don't know, we're about to get into fire content only and worst thirst. Those are segments that we do about players that we're excited about for the week and players that we want to pump the brakes on for the week. Before we get into that, we'll remind everybody to like the video, subscribe if you're already subscribed. We appreciate you rocking with us, tuning in, commenting, and all that. So thank you guys so much. But yeah, we're about to go into different segments. LQ is going to be first. He's going to tell you about some players for week 4 that you should keep on your radar who should be exceeding expectations. He's going to break down why. And then I'm going to talk about worst thirst, his players that are probably going to let you down. But I'm going to head out. It's going to be LQ's time to shine. He's going to tell you about players that he's excited about, and then we're going to debate it. All right. So I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to bounce. I'm going to bounce, and I'm going to let LQ do his thing.
What up? It's your boy LQ, Mr. Real Deal Fantasy HQ, fire content only. You see the face, you know the case. So I got some players this week that need to be on your roster. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, this week we need to load up and get some guys that are going to be able to produce some points. So these guys I got exceeding all expectations. So right now I got Rashad Penny. Now listen, it's been mid. He started the season off mid, under 8 fantasy points, not that many targets, 3 catches, 4 targets. Look a little yucky, but what's encouraging is he has 68% of the snap participation in that backfield last week. I mean, we all want Kenneth Walker to, be the guy to be the number 1, but it's looking like he is taking that role at the number 2 because the week before that, with Kenneth Walker's debut, basically Penny still took over that backfield with 42% of the snap participation. Now, Penny for the bounce back season, he has the layup this week against the Lions. They're giving out the most rushing touchdowns, and they give the most second fantasy points per game to the running back position. So the bounce back is upon us, people. Penny is a lock. Now, Isaiah McKenzie, he came in hot last week, 21 fantasy points. Listen, He has the greatest matchup he'll probably see this season against the Ravens, who are giving up big plays. They're number one in 458 yards per game, people. Not only are they giving up the most yards to wide receivers, the most catches to wide receivers, they're giving up the most touchdowns to the slot position. They're giving up the most yards to the slot position as well. So Isaiah McKenzie, Chef Kiss set up for success this week. He's a lock. Moving on to David Njoku, man. Listen, he has the Falcons this week. David Njoku finally got activated last week where he put up a big performance. 10 targets, 9 catches, 90% catch rate, people. This is a reliable target for Jacoby Brissett. He's a quarterback, he's not that great. He's struggling a little bit, but he looked good last Thursday when utilizing David Njoku. So he's going against the Falcons. Listen, he finished tied first with Mark Andrews last week in the receiving yards, and I think this is where he'll get the bulk of his fantasy points this week against the Falcons. He had a 32% target share last week. They paid him all this money. Why not use him? So those are my fire guys this week, fire players only. Troy, get your ass back up here, boy.
I'm back, baby. Here, let me get back on my side where I belong.
There we go.
All right, so let's talk about some of your players, right? I agree with most of them. Rashad Penny, though, I can't rock with Rashad Penny, right? Because here's the thing. The problem is that the offense itself is inconsistent. Like sometimes Geno looks good, but they just – and also Rashad Penny's not catching passes. So it's not a great offense.
That is what made me hesitate, but he's still getting the bulk of the workload. And it's the Lions. I mean, they just put a safety on IR today, and I definitely feel as though that defense isn't as locked in as everybody wants it to be. So Rashad Penny, we all hyped him up. Look, not all of us.
I didn't hype him up. I didn't huge Rashad Penny.
Listen, the fantasy community hyped up Rashad Penny to be that guy, to be the guy that's going to have all these yards per carry and et cetera, et cetera. He's looking very mid, but this is the bounce back that I believe that he needs. He needed this matchup. You know what I mean? Going against San Fran ain't no joke. You know what I mean? And that was his worst game. And I feel as though he has a layup this week. Full send him.
Look, I get it. The competition against Detroit Lions is a good matchup. I think he's lower in RB2 flex play kind of guy. I'm just not very excited about, bro. Get Jordan out of here, bro. But listen, I'm about to kick him out of the chat. But Rashad Penny, I think he's kind of mid to me. I think he has his moments where he looks good. I just between the splitting between him and Kenneth Walker and the offense doesn't excite me that much. I just think this week maybe is a good play. Long term, I still have my concerns about him, especially because he doesn't catch passes. So, but I like your other choices. Love David Njoku, love Isaiah McKenzie. I agree with all yours. But now it's my turn. Now I'm going to tell y'all about players that you need to be worried about this week that you're gonna have to pump the brakes on, right? So worst thirst, everybody. What's up? It's your boy Troy, aka T King Mo. First, I'm gonna start out with Allen Robinson, yo. Allen Robinson has been killing me. He's been killing me over the past couple weeks. So first week he sucked. Last week he was okay. He's good because he scored a touchdown. This week he dropped a touchdown. And the problem is he's touchdown dependent. He's basically a streaming tight end at this point. He needs a touchdown to be good. He's getting maybe 4 to 5 targets a game. I like that he's being targeted in the red zone, but I need my receivers to not only be targeted in the red zone. I need more consistent, targets elsewhere. Ben, I can't say his last name, Stranakic or whatever his name is. He's out targeting Allen Robinson, and obviously Cooper Kupp, and Tyler Higbee's out targeting him. It's just Allen Robinson at this point. You drafted him to be a wide receiver too, and he's been nothing but at best a flex play. So if you're going to play him, it's going to flex play and you're praying for a touchdown. But I'm not excited about Allen Robinson. He's not somebody I believe you need to start. Treylon Burks is my next guy. Treylon Burks is somebody that I believe he's going to be good, but the issue is that I don't see it happening at least this week. The thing about what we've seen so far is that he gets some opportunities, but it's still a Derrick Henry show. When people drafted him, they think, oh, A.J. Brown's gone. He's just going to slide into the A.J. Brown role. And we haven't seen that. We've seen Robert Woods getting more involved, and we've seen like guys like Austin Hooper, Jeff Swain. Ryan Tannehill's just spreading it all over the place. It's just I was expecting it to be the Treylon Burks show early on when I first drafted him, but it hasn't come to that. Maybe towards the end of the season, as the season goes on, we'll see Treylon Burks become that alpha. But as of right now, he's not showing alpha numbers. Right now, he's like wide receiver 71. That's not somebody that you got to start. You know what I'm saying? So just be careful of Treylon Burks. At best, he's a flex play at this point. And lastly, this is somebody that's actually been producing for fantasy that I'm telling you to be wary of. It is Devin Duvernay. Devin Duvernay right now, he's about wide receiver 21. He's in that 21 area right now. And but the issue is it's on the back of touchdowns. He's been getting like 2 receptions every single game, and he's barely getting targeted. So that's not something that's sustainable for fantasy. Like I need my wide receiver. If I'm playing you, this is where rankings could be deceiving. Like I need somebody to be getting more than 2 receptions again, because you're going to put him in there and he's going to give you a dud if he's only getting targeted so many times, or if he's scoring on like a kickoff or whatever. So just be wary of Devin Duvernay. I know if you just look, wide receiver 21, oh my God, it's so exciting, but nah, like you got to look at the big picture, right? You got to look at the opportunities. So be very wary of that. But yeah, I'm going to bring LQ back just because unfortunately I have to. I wish I could just do this myself, but LQ, let's bring your ass back over here.
Hey, yo, watch your mouth, yo.
But okay, so what's your opinion on some of the guys that I'm talking about?
Listen, I like Treylon Burks. I mean, it is unfortunate right now, the situation, just based on what that offense is, how it's looking, but good things are on the up for Derrick Henry, and maybe that can, get things going the next following week. But he's also a guy, he's already your questioning put into your starting lineups. It's a rookie, so, there's guys like Garrett Wilson, Drake London, who are showing up and showing out, but you still got to, have that question mark of like, who are you starting this rookie over? Because you most likely got him in the later rounds of the draft. But I'm not going to speak on Allen Robinson because I hyped him up this season. And
bro, he's
been a fan. It's
but listen, bro. Like I have Allen Robinson in a bunch of places, and it just obviously after the first week was absolute disaster. Stafford didn't even look at him, and we had some hope when he scored the touchdown. But then you saw last week again. He was, if he scored the touchdown, we would think a little bit better. But the problem is we're just realizing, we break down the numbers, it's because he scored a touchdown. It's like I just need more consistency.
It's targets. A volume thing, man, and I don't know what this offense is doing this season. I mean, I hate to admit it, but Tyler Higbee is looking like the solid second option moving forward.
He's been great for fantasy.
Because watching Stafford take his reads, it's like if Cooper Kupp isn't there, he's immediately looking in the middle of the field for Tyler Higbee. He's force feeding Tyler Higbee. I said this last week where he has 5 interceptions and 3 of them are targeting Tyler Higbee. So it's like he's force feeding him right now. But I guess, we just have to wait and see how all this shapes up.
And also because we know Allen Robinson, he plays the X. So it's like the X, it's like it's just not in this offense. It's you're not playing the slot. It feels like Matthew Stafford isn't looking at you. If you're not in the middle of the field or you're not playing the slot, Stafford isn't going to look at you. And I feel like, and we're going to continue to see that. Sometimes I feel when he gets to the goal line, maybe a throw a jump ball for Allen Robinson. It's just too inconsistent. I just can't rely on my quote unquote wide receiver 2 to just be touchdown dependent. Again, you might as well be a streaming tight end if my wide receiver 2 is going to be touchdown dependent.
The good thing is, though, he was already of value in draft, so most likely he was already your flex. So pivot to another.
I feel like closer to the draft, people are drafting him like 4th, 5th round because look, the hype is slowly creeping up, and we saw what OBJ did in the Super Bowl. Like, Allen Robinson could do that. He finally has a good quarterback. So these are some things that we had to deal with. So it was just I'm just a little bit skeptical.
We'll take it to the chin. It is what it is.
It is what it is. But all right, guys. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna switch over to the waiver wire. I'm gonna switch over to the waiver wire because I know everybody is gonna be putting their waiver wire claims in tonight after this show. I'm gonna be finalizing, double checking, see my fab, see if did I invest enough? I got to double check all that, right? So there's a lot of guys. So I'm just going to start off with some of the obvious guys, and then we're going to go to some that are deeper leagues. So you guys got like Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams, priority ad. He's number 1 on my list. He's absolutely number 1 on my list. Jamal Williams is there. Alexander Madison. I know Dalvin Cook, apparently he's going to be able to play for that shoulder injury.
He's going to have like the
harness. And he's done it before, but I still would pick up Alexander Madison because we know one thing about Dalvin Cook, every single year he gets injured. It's just something you have to deal with.
No,
And we always talk about Alex Madison every
I
single
honestly
week.
think he'll be RB1 if he didn't miss any games. Like dead ass. Like I think we draft him accordingly, knowing like he's going to be hurt. So his draft capital is what it is. Like he's not.
I don't think it's gonna be RB1, but I see what you're saying. But that's the
Absolutely
reason why.
What? If
What
he stayed
RB1
healthy,
overall?
overall.
All right, yo, I need the chat to chime in on this. Do you think that Dalvin Cook would be RB1 overall? And this is obviously a complete hypothetical if he never got hurt. No, he wouldn't. That's absolutely ridiculous. No, he wouldn't. He would not. Okay. Anyways, I'm not even. Let's
You were nuts.
We got more waiver wire guys to talk about. Okay. So then another guy. So these are some obvious guys if you watch some of the games, right? David Njoku. We talked about him. He's still available. Like and Yahoo's 52% owned. He's gonna be a very popular waiver wire pick. Tyler Conklin, I believe he's run the most routes of any tight end.
Yes, and he's tied right now.
And he's a tight end number one. He's a tight end one. So is this?
Yeah, he's tied with Travis Kelce in targets right now. Think about that for a second.
I think you should spend aggressively on.
I would
both. I would spend aggressively. Like if you need a tight end, look, I'm not an advocate of like let's say you're not a tight end premium league, like flexing a tight end, but when you have a tight end. Look, I'd rather flex Tyler Conklin and Allen Robinson. You know what I'm saying? Like,
watch your digs, yo.
No, what I'm saying is like I'm not a fan of doing that. But Tyler Conklin, when you get somebody that's consistently getting all those targets, I am worried though. Zach Wilson might be back, so he might be ruining everybody. So he might ruin everyone for us. He might not target Tyler Conklin, so that's why I want Joe Flacco to stay. Just stay for a couple weeks,
I've been
Joe.
saying this before preseason. He needs to stay. Stop. Don't bring Zach Wilson back.
Oh, again, we have some more, but he called it out early, so I appreciate it. But Ty Chandler is somebody. If you can scoop him up, he's going to be for free. You can scoop him for free or very cheap in case he has some type of role in the offense. But I think Alexander Madison, if Dalvin Cook is out, Alexander Madison's definitely going to be the guy. Maybe Ty Chandler will be mixed in somehow. Bro, Allen Robinson's disrespecting my fantasy team for being so sorry.
Nah, watch your mouth.
Nah, he's being so sorry on my fantasy team, bro. Tell Allen Robinson to do something. But anyways, there's some other guys. Greg Dortch, wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals. He's been everything that we want Rondale Moore to be. He's been consistent. He's been getting targets down the field. And again, I feel like in a way he's kind of playing that Christian Kirk role. Christian Kirk's been gone. I feel like Greg Dortch is slid in there. And then I feel like even if Rondale Moore comes back, I don't see Greg Dortch just going to the bench. I think he's earned his job. Oh, I like this question right here. Hold on. Before we go. Njoku with Pitts. I'm taking Pitts, bro. I'm sorry. I cannot. We saw Pitts finally get targets. I cannot. I'm sorry. If I have to continue to play Pitts. I understand the question because Njoku balled out and he scored, but it's Pitts for me, man. Like, I understand the question though. Oh, he said, Wilson loved them in preseason, but here's the thing, man. I just don't. Preseason. I've seen a lot of things in preseason don't come to fruition, right? Look, just like Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet was supposed to get targets, and we saw it in preseason and come to fruition. But
that Bears offense is dookie.
But my main point about Zach Wilson though is I just feel like as of right now, in my opinion, I think it's kind of a slight tick down for all the wide receivers. Somehow Joe Flacco has he's been excellent. He's been excellent for his fantasy.
Veteran.
No, but all bets aren't good. But Joe Flacco has done something that I was not expecting, so I've been very impressed. But there's some other guys I want to talk about. Zay Jones, wide receiver for the Jaguars. Zay Jones, to me, man, he's gotten, I think, 9+ targets, 2 out of the last 3 games. The Jags look good. Trevor Lawrence is looking to him. Obviously, Christian Kirk's the wide receiver 1, but I think Zay Jones has carved out, the wide receiver 2 role in that offense. They paid him a lot of money to, be brought to Jacksonville. So, hold on. This is a gross question that Ray got. Do we have to?
Right?
No. Listen, no. LQ, you rank these guys: Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Matt Jones, Trey Lance. Rank them real quick.
I'm gonna go Mac, Lance, Wilson. Nah, I'm gonna go Fields, Wilson then.
Nah, to be honest, look,
Lance,
what I've seen from Fields, man. Look, I think Fields could eventually be a good quarterback, but he's been awful. He's last.
chill, man. Chill.
Nah, Fields is last, bro. I think he's a talented dude, but I'm not. He's last until further notice. And Zach Wilson, unfortunately, he's been hurt, so I haven't been able to judge him.
Both of these guys have flashes, but if I'm going to rank them by fantasy,
I'm gonna do
rushing upside.
Okay, no, Trey Lance. In terms of fantasy, if Trey Lance was healthy, he'd be number one. But in terms of real life quarterback, yeah. See, no. Me and Jay Rich are on the exact same page. Lance, Mac, Wilson, Fields, bro. Fields? They don't trust him to pass the ball. He's passed 17 times, bro.
I can't even speak what's going on. It shouldn't be that way, though. That's the problem.
To me, the coaches are looking at him, and whatever it is, they're like, "Yo, you are trash, my guy." They build it in practice. They must be looking at him in practice, like, "Yo, Justin, we can't trust you to throw this ball."
They need to make it free for Chase McDaniels.
And also, no, we saw him throw the ball. He's been making terrible decisions. He's not reading the field great.
No, yeah.
He's not reading the field. He's not reading the field on a consistent basis, and he's making bad decisions. So that's where, like, never mind. We're gonna go back to running the ball. We try to get you to throw, and then look what you did.
Hey, they running the ball very well. So listen, run the ball well.
I feel like he said not Fields' fault. It's not all Fields' fault. Like, there's definitely a lot of Fields' fault, my guy. I think that Justin Fields is a talented quarterback, and maybe I don't know if it's the coaching staff not calling the right plays, or I don't know if it's the offensive line, or maybe it's because the best wide receiver is Equanimeous St. Brown. Like, there's definitely factors that are playing into Justin Fields not being as good as we want to, but at the same time, you can only make so many excuses, right? Eventually, you're going to have to look at, if you are that guy, then you have to show more promise. Like, it's one thing if he was like making certain decisions and he's looked good. No, I agree. Like, but again, it's not all his fault, but he's not absolved of any blame.
He's not wide receivers, man. I want to stick with that narrative because it's freaking true. Because it's like, bro,
he does.
Man.
But it's like, if does he look good? Does he make right decisions? Is his receivers just running the wrong routes all the time? Is his receivers running the Okay, again, it's a mixture of everything, right? But based off the question that Ray asked, he's last. He's last at all those quarterbacks. I'm sorry. For fantasy, I'm putting him last.
This is a good question, too, about Russell Wilson, because that boy...
let's talk about Russell. Okay, so what are you doing with Russell Wilson? Do you see him returning to form? He can't get any work, Mike S. He cannot get worse. No. I believe so. I don't know what's going on with him. I wish I knew what was happening. I'm shocked that he looked this bad. He looks like
as you go.
He looks like a veteran. In some ways, Carson Wentz has looked better than Russell Wilson. Like, they paid him all this money just to punt the ball consistently. Like, no, they paid him all this money to. What is he doing? All he's doing is checking downs and Javonte Williams. Like, this man he doesn't look like Russell Wilson. And one of the things I've noticed that he doesn't. Bro, he's not as mobile. One thing about Russell is that he doesn't look as mobile as he has in the past with Seattle. And that's one of the things about Russ, right? He was running around in the backfield. He created magic out of nothing. That's the thing that we loved about Russell Wilson. He found a way to make something out of nothing because he almost had to with the offensive line that he had back in Seattle. But whatever reason, it's just that he's just not able to escape pressure. Just like, once a defender gets in the backfield, he's getting sacked. He's getting sacked or doing some dumb stuff. It's just like you're expecting that from like a Chase Daniels. You're not expecting that from Russell Wilson. Like, it's just there's nothing that you can say about Russell Wilson that makes you feel good. Like, sometimes he throws to Cortland Sutton and he completes a pass, but it's like it's the basics. Like, you should be doing, like, he's doing the bare minimum right now. And I feel that he's eventually going to become Russell Wilson again, but it's just because I just didn't expect him to be this bad. I don't see him getting worse. But what do you think, man? Do you think he goes back to form?
Yeah, I definitely see him going back to form because you got to realize the dude didn't play one snap during preseason. So this is basically him getting gelled into game speed. It's okay to practice with your guys and build the chemistry, after practice, before practice, off field, et cetera, et cetera. But when you get in that game speed and you got teams blitzing you and you got teams coming at you fast, trying to take your head off, your old line is now experiencing, the the full game speed. And like he didn't play one snap during preseason. I'm not too worried 100% of like if he's going to completely shit the bed the entire season, but I think he'll turn it around by the time we're in week 6, week 7. We'll start looking at this offense like, okay, they're starting to get it together. They're starting to go because Nathaniel Hackett's an idiot. He's a moron. I mean,
but here's the thing. But I don't understand what the issue is. He has Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, 2 decent wide receivers.
It comes down to
and he's Javonte Williams, and it's just like, and Alberto is just. I tell him, he talking about over, bro. He Alberto. That man was overhyped as hell going to fantasy.
Ain't nobody worried about no tight end.
I know, but then I just don't understand. But I think Russell Wilson will eventually get better. But man, it's been a rough going. But anyways, let's get back to the waiver wire. We still got a couple guys. Craig Reynolds, so running back, he's with the Lions. Jamal Williams is still going to be the RB1. But I think Craig Reynolds, we saw him get a little bit of work last week with Swift banged up. I think Craig Reynolds. We saw him last year. Craig Reynolds. He actually had to start some games because Swift and Jamal Williams were hurt. So we saw Craig Reynolds. He actually looked pretty good last year where he had to fill in. So he's somebody you get cheap or maybe for free off waivers just in case. I'm not saying you have to start him, but that's somebody you maybe want to scoop up and put on your bench. If you're in a deep fantasy league, dynasty league, you could do that. And you have Josh Reynolds. We saw Amon St. Brown. He's a little banged up. I think there's something going on with his ankle, I believe the injury is. So Josh Reynolds, he got a lot of targets last week. If Amon St. Brown can't go, Josh Reynolds, who knows? He could maybe fill in for that. So what are your opinions? Do you like those guys? Is there anyone else that we haven't talked about that you're looking at to pick up?
I like Josh Reynolds. I mean, look, man, this Lions offense is very impressive, only for the simple fact, they're top 3 in points per game right now. You got to look at it from what we saw last year with that Lions offense in general. Like, it's just a tragedy. But you got Jared Goff playing like a top 10, quarterback, and he's spreading the ball around. I mean, I think the Lions have like 6 different players that have a touchdown right now and have 80 scrimmage yards, at least. So it's like they're all getting involved. This offense is gelling together. You got TJ Hawk doing what he can do, and you got Swift doing what he does best, run the ball. And I really feel as though, Josh Reynolds can be a nice plug and play if Amon-Ra ain't ready to go.
No, I agree. No, I like those guys. Is there anyone that we forget? I feel like those are the main guys that you're looking at unless you're in the
because Josh Reynolds has that previous history with, chemistry with obviously Jared Goff when they were Rams. And, I think, that's really only the liable guy to pick up off the waivers. Like I said, if Amon-Ra ain't ready.
I mean, if you're in a deep league, Richie James, he's somebody that's been involved in the offense. And we talked about how Shepard's hurt. Kenny Galladay's 1 foot out the door. Kadarius Toney's hurt. Wando Robinson is hurt. Richie James, he's somebody that's been involved in the offense every single week. So maybe that's someone, if you're in a deeper league, that's somebody you look at as well.
Horrendous.
But all right, guys, for our final segment, we are going to preview the Thursday night football game. For those who don't know, I am a diehard Dolphins fan. 3-0, baby. This is supposed to be the Tua show. You see this? Scott Fishbowl times Miami Dolphins.
See that shit, bro.
Bro, I'm showing it. I'm showing the people my shirt, man.
Look, you just got clipped. Somebody gonna clip that at you like this.
Nah, but listen though. Listen, this is my show, bro. Miami Dolphins, Tua, Tyreek, Waddle. They're coming, they're playing the Bengals. They have to travel on a short week. We knew what happened with the whole Tua situation. Concussion, was his back? I don't freaking know. I'm not a doctor. They keep saying it's his back, even though the video was kind of suspect. I don't know. The man keeps saying it's his back. I'm gonna believe him. He's saying that's
his ass.
No, I'm gonna listen. So about Tua. So what do you expect from this game? Who do you think is going to win Thursday night football? Is there any surprise guys that you think they're going to be show out for fantasy? Tell me what your predictions are for Thursday night football.
No, I got the Dolphins winning, honestly. I cannot see, the offensive line for Joe Burrow to be protected because Joe Burrow is getting sacked left and right. You know what I mean? And that's going to be the key to the victory here for the Dolphins if they can get to Joe Burrow and knock him off his game. But it's going to be, I would say, a pretty high scoring game. I could see it being like maybe under. I'll do the under 50.
Over/under I think is 48. So it's not bad. It's not great, not bad. It should be an okay game. It should be a pretty decent game.
It's going to be a lot of scoring because you guys gave up big plays as well. I mean, I definitely feel as though you guys are going to win, But from a fantasy
I hope we
aspect,
win.
I'm gonna be looking at Samaje Perine. He's one of those guys
I like
that
that
you could
call.
plug and play there, because just based on Joe Mixon being a little banged up, they're saying that it's not that serious. He'd be ready to go, but Samaje Perine might be seeing a lot more work this week, and it's a short turnaround week. And Joe Mixon, he has that history of being hurt, and you don't want to put him in the starting lineup, and then boom, the first quarter he's back on the sideline. So Samaje Perine's like one of those fantasy guys that I think we didn't mention him on the waiver wire, but he's definitely one of those guys you pick up. He's available.
So there have been questions about is Tua back good. From what I've seen, his back's a little bit sore. I think he's also might be dealing with a little ankle problem. He did a stinky leg wobble. We saw it, right? But from what Mike McDaniel's saying, it sounds like the expectation as Tua's supposed to play if there's anything unforeseen happening. But the expectation is, but we saw Teddy Bridgewater on that one drive. God, he looked awful. He looked absolutely terrible.
Pissed. Like he wanted to walk off the field.
Bro, Teddy would look so trash, bro. Have Skylar Thompson as the backup because man, because he's going to be starting. If Tua can't go, Teddy be starting, and we are going to lose that game.
Teddy Two Glove ain't really getting no reps in, man. Let him be, man.
I know, but bro, he threw a horrible pass. He got sacked. Then he threw another horrible pass. It was terrible.
But listen, it is what it is. But Teddy Two Glove, give him some slack, man. He got one of the great comeback stories.
But I'm also not going to give him a slack because one, he looked terrible Sunday, and then a quick turnaround, and I'm all of a sudden expecting, Skylar balled out preseason. I think at least with Skylar, we have some upside. If Tua can't go, I'd rather put Skylar in there. But look, the coaches see these guys every day. Look, they paid Teddy Bridgewater to be the veteran. We'll see, but I really hope Tua can go and look, we saw Tyreek Hill talking all that mess about Eli Apple. I think
I can't wait to see that.
I think Tyreek Hill is gonna have a bounce back game. Obviously, he didn't produce a lot on Sunday. Wild's gonna do his thing. We know that. Chase hasn't been great the past 2 weeks, man. We need Chase to look like.
Oh, Chase again. Okay, yeah. I just wanted to make sure you was gonna be honest.
What, Jamar Chase? I'm talking about Jamar Chase.
Chase Edmonds.
No, I'm talking about Jamar Chase has not looked like he hasn't produced like Jamar Chase numbers. I'm hoping to see he's got X is gonna be on him, Xavier Howard's gonna be on him. So what's up?
Sauce Gardner, he did his thing last week though.
Sauce Gardner, he's been he's been getting locked up recently. I just need Jamar Chase to do his thing. T. Higgins, I know he's banged up. What do we know? I don't know if he's playing or not. I think he's questionable, so that's something we need to monitor.
I think he'll play. I think he came back in the game though after he got that hit, but I think he is a little banged up. That's definitely something to monitor. 2 weeks, concussion, possible concussion that lasted. It looked like he was done, but salute to him for the toughness of getting back in the game. But I'm starting Tyler Boyd this week. That's my one smash.
He's always getting the lightest coverage. Defense got to worry about Higgins and Jamar Chase. Tyler Boyd's always getting. But yeah, let's talk about Chase Edmonds.
Oh yeah.
The problem with Chase Edmonds is, man, his snap share. He's not getting he only got like 6 rushes last week, and the week before he's only getting like 6 opportunities. He just happened to score 2 touchdowns when everyone benched him. On anyone's benches, he scored 2 touchdowns. So that's the issue with Chase Edmonds is that
he worth the 5th round pick?
But look, yesterday he was. Sunday he was worth it because
bench.
He's the goal line back. He's the goal line back. I don't know if he's going to continue that role. If they get close to the goal line and they feed it to him. But his usage is definitely concerning. His usage is like an RB3 usage. So I am concerned because if he doesn't score those touchdowns, he had a really bad game. So I'm a little worried about that. I think Raheem Mostert. And also just a weird game. Dolphins only ran 39 plays.
By him. Don't ever have that type of game ever again. He had 1.6 yards per carry.
Yeah, I don't know what's going. Yeah, so I feel we can't use Sunday's game to predict the future.
No,
forget it. But I'm not looking. You could flex Chase Edmonds, I guess, but you have to be mindful that it's a risky flex play because you're needing him to either score a touchdown or break off a long run on a catch. He's just not getting the usage I want. So I prefer he goes off of my bench until I see that opportunity share, that snap share go back up. because again, that usage is too unpredictable. There's other guys that I prefer to start over.
Yeah, this doesn't mean start Raheem Mostert either, though, because
no, yeah, I wouldn't start either of them because again, they're flex plays at best because the usage is just too unpredictable. But look, you know, somebody I actually might look to pick up in deep dynasty leagues just real quick. River Craycraft, he scored a touchdown back to back. We keep promoting him from the practice squad. He's looked decent. He's been scoring. Tua's been looking to him. I'm not saying start him in the regular redraft league. I'm saying if you're in a deep dynasty league, River Craycraft. I'm just saying, it's a little gem right there. Yeah. But Tua hurt. He either that or Raheem Mostert. But the problem is that the Dolphins, they just haven't been able to run the ball. And they've had this problem consistently. Like their run game isn't. Like it'd be nice to see him be able to run more consistently to take pressure off of Tua, but I just think that the usage is weird. Like I don't know who to trust. Do I trust Raheem Mostert? Do I trust Chase Edmonds?
The 49ers backfield.
I don't know. To me, it's just there's just too unpredictable. I just need to see one back get the consistent work. Like I'm trying to see like can one of them get like 12 carries a game? Like that's what I need to see for me to feel comfortable. I need to see like 10 to 12 carries.
That could be possible this week
on a consistent basis. Like that's what I need to see to feel comfortable starting either of them in my lineup because they're dart throws at this point. And then one of the worst fans in the world, if you start with them on a Thursday night game and they suck, you gotta wait days until Sunday and pray that the rest of your life.
Where shit goes crazy, where shit blows up.
Like, but also we don't know how it's gonna be. Is it gonna be a shootout? It's gonna be a low scoring game. Does Joe Burrow look like vintage Joe? Or is he just gonna air it out and the Dolphins have to match?
I'm fading any input on any London games this year and moving forward because those games are unpredictable.
Oh yeah, so Sunday, yeah. So we ain't gonna talk too much about the Sunday games.
Nothing about London games. It's a dub.
Now we'll leave it at that. But guys, I just want to. That's about it for us, guys. I want to say thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you're liking the video before you go. Make sure all y'all go in the video and like it. We appreciate y'all. If you're not already subbed, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're gonna be back Thursday halftime show. Hopefully, I'm in Orlando, so there's a hurricane coming. So hopefully, it'll hit me and I'll be back for the Thursday halftime show. And it's 10 minutes with our homie Sam Holt. We're just gonna be, breaking down the first half, previewing the second half. Again, we'll be also back here next Tuesday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank y'all so much for rocking with us. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have yourselves a good night. Deuces, y'all. Sure. Oh, make sure to follow us. Mode on Twitter, Real Deal Fantasy on Twitter. Deuces, everybody.
Gang.